Happy Monday, everybody. I'm Louise from Wildflower Wool, and welcome. It's Monday, which means I'm casting on a brand new project tonight that you guys helped vote for. So, like always, the night is going to go as follows. We're going to talk about the yarn that you voted for. Well, not the yarn, you were voting cables or lace. So, we'll talk about what the winning technique was, what my plans are for that yarn, and you guys may be a little bit surprised, but I have a few finishes to show you, more than one even. So, yeah, and then just some more progress on some of the different things that I've worked on throughout the week. And then we will just chat about what you've been working on. We can talk a little bit about the Fiber Friends. And I went to a knit night last week, which was super, super fun. So I think we'll have lots to chat about for the upcoming hour. So grab your knitting. Hope everybody's had a great Monday, had a great start to your week. Hopefully that included a bit of knitting in there somewhere. All right, so let's talk about the yarn. I've done a little bit of yarn shopping over the last week or so. This yarn here all came from Knit Stitch, one of my local yarn shops. Hi, everybody. Um, so this is, what is it? Drops Soft Tweed. Has anybody knit with this? I went into the yarn shop and I was looking for something. This is a DK weight. I wasn't sure if I wanted DK or worsted. I knew I wanted something heavier than just a fingering weight. And I saw these colors and I was like, oh, I really, really like this. Sorry, excuse me. Um, anyway, so this is what I kind of played around with some colors. There was a really nice yellow that I really, really wanted it, and I didn't buy it. So maybe I may go back eventually and get it. But I thought these four colors would look really nice in a shawl. So we've got, I don't think they have actual color names. Oh, they do. This one's exciting. Okay, so Drop Soft Tweed. It is a classic tweed in superfine alpaca and merino wool. So it is very nice and soft. So this one here is called Peppercorn. So it is kind of like a dark gray black color. Peppercorn. Well, I was assuming it was a dark gray. We'll call it dark gray. Peppercorn. That sounds more like a black though, doesn't it? Anyways, um, Pebbles. So this one here is more just like a, I don't know, dove gray kind of thing. This one, what would be pumpkin cinnamon something? Oh, carrot. Okay, so it's a burnt orange. It's really pretty. And then the last one is kind of a greeny, yellowy green color. Let's see what they call it. Guacamole. So yeah, a green. So it is more yellowy than I think it's showing on the screen. So anyway, I thought those would look really, really nice. Whether I use it, well, okay. I was gonna say, whether I use it as a late summer shawl or a fall shawl, I think it would be nice for either. And then I'm thinking, well, that all, of course, depends how quickly I get it done. It may not be a summer shawl if I don't get it quite finished, but I love it. So I was asking whether I should knit this lace or cables. And you guys, very much like last week's voting, it was very one-sided, which is unusual because I know I've said this lots of times, right? Like Instagram voters usually vote this way, Facebook voters vote over here. And this last 2 weeks, it's been pretty much all the same across the board. I thought, lace is, you think typically lace as more of a summer knit, cables more as fall. Some people were saying, these look like fall colors. Other people thought they'd be just fine for summer. Some people thought this yarn definitely looked like cable yarn. Other people thought lace would show up really lovely in it. And I know I thought both would look really good, either cables or lace, um, obviously, because I was happy to knit either one. So let me get the final tabulated results here. We had today, I checked this about quarter to 8. Well, there was 98 total votes across all the platforms. So you've got lots of places to vote. You can go vote multiple places if you're like really, really, really wanting something to win. You can vote here on YouTube under the post that I do on Monday mornings. You can vote on Wildflower Will's Facebook page and Wildflower Will's Instagram stories and in the feed posts. A few of you sometimes send me direct messages, so I add those in as well. So we had a total of 98 votes, which is pretty consistent. We're usually right around the 100 mark, which I think is just amazing that we have that many people voting. And the winner, I don't think Liz, have I seen Liz in here tonight? Liz usually gives me a drum roll. But we will go ahead without the drum roll. Insert your own drum roll in here. With 68% of the votes was cables. So, yep, it was pretty much hands down. And I wonder if that was the colors leaning more towards fall. Oh, Diane, give us a drum roll. So, yep. So it is going to be cables, you guys. I am so excited to do this. Oh, look at all you guys. Look at all the drum rolls. Fantastic. I I don't knit a lot with cables because typically I would pick lace over cables. But I think this will look really, really pretty. And now here's one more thing we can talk about in the chat. One thing I haven't totally decided. So I'm thinking I'm going to color block this. I'm not going to stripe it. I'm just going to randomly pick. I think I'm going to randomly pick, like say, okay, we're going to start with, okay, carrot, and just knit the ball. And then go, I don't know if I'll randomly pick, or maybe I will go, I think I did have this. I think I had this set out on the yarn shop counter. Maybe something like that. I don't know. I don't think it really is going to matter too much. I think all the colors would look fine side by side. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is, what do you think I should do? If we start with carrot, I'm just going to knit the whole ball, then I'm going to switch it out, and then we'll go with pebbles. And so one cable pattern throughout the color changes, or switch cable patterns for every different color. Kind of make a sampler. What do you think? Different patterns, or just keep it all as one? I'm kind of torn. My first original thought was to do different patterns. I had originally thought I was thinking 3 colors and 3 different cable patterns, but then once I saw all 4 of these colors, I was like, "Oh, I think I need all 4." Okay, I dropped one. Hi, Alice. Okay, Alice says 1 pattern. I know the more I got thinking about it before I jumped on here, I'm like, maybe 1 pattern and just let the color change be the variation. Honestly, I think it would be fine either way. I don't know. Maybe it will depend if I start with 1 color and if I want to switch it up, then maybe I'll switch it. Okay, so we've got, okay, what do we have here? Alice says 1. Katie says different. Jocelyn says, like the idea of 1 cable pattern and fade the colors. Yeah, I don't think I'm fading. That was something I mean, I'm always open for suggestions, and who knows, I may change my mind. But yeah, I had kind of thought I wasn't going to fade. I was just going to color block. I mean, fading would look pretty too. Diane says different. Paula says same. Joe says 1. Sally says, I like 1 starting with white, green, then gray. White. Okay, so like the pebble, the peppercorn. Oh no, wait, I missed. White. Okay, so pebble, carrot, peppercorn, and green. Oh, that looks nice. That does look nice. Okay, Sally, I may just do that. I know you could sit forever, right? And play around. Okay, I like that. I like that. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, so what are we? I think one, one, two, three, four. Yeah, so maybe a little more towards just one and let the colors do the changing out. Okay, I will keep that in mind. I am going to start this as soon as we finish up here tonight because you guys, you want to know something? I have some finishes. I have some finishes. They're little, but little's totally fine. Let's jump right in to let me show you what I have done. Okay, let's start with last week's new start. So, last week's new start was the three colors of dishcloth. Oh, Nancy, Cables won. Yes, Nancy, Cables won. By that Cables had 68% of the votes tonight. Most people were going voting that way. Okay. Oh, the lighting's kind of crappy tonight, guys. So, oh, there, that's better. So, this was the colors from last week, and it was going to be a slip stitch pot holder that I had found in this vintage pattern book. Remember, we were talking about this, and this was the one that like look, it has all these really fun, like the doll, like tea cozies, toys, all kinds of fun things. And but I had found in here the pot holder. Where's the pot holder? Right there, the purple and then this pink one. And I had thought I was going to just knit it from the pattern. And in the end, I decided I was going to I did the pattern, but I finished it differently. Paula says, "Who are you and what have you done with the weights?" I know I have finishes. I know. So I did the pot holder. The pattern was absolutely wonderful. The colors together. Last week, you guys all pretty much voted for these colors. There was red, pink, and green. Maybe a smidgen more like Christmassy, like if you thought Christmas, it could look Christmassy, but you guys all voted for these like summery beach colors. So look at this. It's done. It's two thicknesses and it's finished and I absolutely love it. The pattern was so much fun to do. So it was three colors in just a simple slip stitch. Super, super easy. The only thing, and I don't know if that is just the age of the pattern, like I'm not sure exactly. There's no date on here. So I think, did we decide it was maybe the 70s? Anyways, so it was knit flat. And what they wanted you to do was basically knit one dishcloth, knit the second dishcloth. And so as you finished, you were supposed to knit the top border on here and you were decreasing stitches and then you were increasing so that your top border pointed out. It flared. So then this side you were supposed to pick up stitches and do the same thing and have flared corners and then you would sew the corners together. But when you cast on and you had a couple of rows of the orange, the tangerine color down here that they did not replicate up here. They had you start in stockinette stitch, and then the border going around was supposed to be garter stitch. I'm like, this just doesn't make sense. And then you had to pick up and do all the borders around, and then you had to sew them all together. And I started doing the pattern and I started doing the top shaping, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is just crazy. And the border looked way bigger than the pattern did, like really like tall. I was like, "Oh, I don't think I like this." So I pulled it out and I just, um, 3 needle off. Bind that's almost a tongue twister. I did the 3 needle bind off at the top here, so it looks really quite nice. The side edges, though, were not very even because you had slip stitches in there, and then you were the very end stitch, you were switching colors every row, every other row. So it was really bulky. So I just mattress stitched it together, but this will just be for me, so I'm not super, super picky about it. But I'm gonna re-knit this again, and I'm going to do it in the round and do a provisional cast on and then graft the top. Graft, that's what I want, Kitchener stitch the top. Or I could 3 needle binder. The 3 needle bind off worked really well too. So I may just do that. And then the sides won't be quite as bulky, but I just thought I like this a little bit better. I didn't like the whole border thing. So I think this will be perfect in my kitchen. It's really nice and thick with the slip stitches. Carrying that strand behind your stitches gives it a little extra thickness as well. And then it's doubled. So it's really nice. This would be really nice to use. Like you could just pull something right out of the oven. It's thick enough. You could use that, but I really intended it to just be a hot mat on the table, but it could definitely work for either one. So, oh, hi, Alice. It is Cables. Cables was the winning by quite a lot. So I'm guessing you probably voted Cables. So, anyways, this is done. This was so much fun to knit, but I am gonna revamp the pattern. But if you guys haven't done slip stitches, it is such a fun way to way to do color work because basically is there anybody here who hasn't done slip stitch knitting? Because it is just basically you knit two rows. If you didn't do this the slip stitch, it would be 2 rows of straight. So it would, there'd be like 2 rows of the blue, then 2 rows of the yellow, then 2 rows of the tangerine. But just adding that one little slip stitch gives you such a fun, easy pattern. Only knitting with one color at a time. If stranded knitting intimidates you, um, then this would be a good way to dip your toe in doing like some color work. Oh, Sally, you tried slip stitch, but it didn't work out. Okay, would you try it again? The only thing that you really have to think about a little, just be aware of, is what side your working yarn is on. When you slip it, you want your working yarn to be on the wrong side. So sometimes that means it's going to be if you're purling, like I did this flat. So I was working a knit side and then a purl side. So every other row when I was slipping, my working yarn was either front or back to make sure it was on the wrong side so then it's hidden. If you slip it with the working yarn in front, you're going to get a little horizontal strand across there, which sometimes I think I was knitting a shawl that did that on purpose. So it had that little bit of extra texture as the stitch pattern. But 9 times out of 10, you always have the yarn on the wrong side. So your front side is just no strands, no strands. So Sally said, yes. Oh, you would try it again if you could find an easy pattern. Easy pattern, easy pattern. So I had 3 colors, and then of course I just carried them up the side. So worked with one color, and basically you did a knit row, and then you purled back, I slipping stitches as you came on both sides, and then dropped your working color and picked up the next working color and just carried it over the 2 that you were carrying up and just carried them up the side. So which works, and then when you join it together, all that stuff is hidden. If you don't like if you were doing it as a dishcloth, you do see that and it kind of gives you like a little corded edge up the side, but um If it was just a dishcloth, I wouldn't worry about it. If you were doing it as a shawl, I would do something like an I-cord edge on the edge just to cover in those carried strands. But for this, it worked out fine because it's all hidden. So lots of fun, and it's done. So I'm going to put that on the whiteboard for sure. So another project that I was working on last week, I'm sure I showed you guys this last week, was I had a ball. This is also from Knit Stitch. This is Drops Andy. It's a bulky, I don't know if they call it a bulky or a super bulky. What size needle am I using? No idea. I forget. Um, might just be a 6.5 millimeter. So probably just a chunky weight yarn. And I had this because I was starting a headband to do for as a little sample for like a learn to knit class. And anyways, this ball of yarn got well used at our first knit night, or the Knit Stitches first knit night that we did at the Hello Maker Space in downtown London. Last week, it was so much fun. That little get together, met a whole lot of new knitters that I had not met before. And so, anyways, one of the ladies, you said she was a crocheter, but she had never knit before. So she got a learn to knit class and she just used this as her samples. So, did garter stitch, stockinette, ribbing, picked up stitches, all kinds of things. So, that was a lot of fun. So, I restarted this one as a narrow headband. I'm not sure what this I may have to restart this. My goal, I'm aiming for 3.5 inches, and I don't know if this looks big enough. Do a quick, I found a tape measure. Let's see what it says. Yeah. Well, pretty close. Not a little, yeah, it's not bad. It's about 3.5. So I think I will finish this one up too. This yarn is really nice, and I don't have the ball band. So I can't tell you what this is. It's like it's wool or a wool blend. There's no acrylic in it, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's 100% wool. It could be, and it's nice. It's maybe not as soft as the drops tweed. Well, maybe it is. They may be comparable. Anyways, it's really nice. So I'm going to make this up into a little headband. So obviously this is not my finished project because I switched out yarn. I made another little trip back to Knit Stitch and came home with this yarn. Now, this yarn, this is a little sneak peek, you guys. I don't think this yarn is in the shop yet. This is some yarn Suzanne's ordering in, and she just asked me to knit a little sample with it. And it's called Drops Snow. And this is the yarn. Here, this is what the yarn looks like. So it's a single ply. And it feels really soft. So let me tell you what all is in here. No color name, just gray. So what does it say? 100% wool, drop snow, excellent for felting. Okay, I got to show you the like. Look at the ball band. I love this. So cute. Um. Oh, hi, Amber. Yes, I can. I can drive now. That's why I've been to all the yarn shops multiple times. Okay, so what does it say? Maybe that's all it says. 100% wool. They're just they come in 50-gram balls, and it suggests a 9 millimeter needle, or that's I think a US 13, or an M hook, or a 13 for crochet. And the gauge is 10 stitches over 4 inches. 50 grams, 50 meters, 55 yards. This was really, really nice to knit with. Wasn't sure, when there were these single plies, if it would be splitty. It didn't have really not a I mean, no, like really no problem at all with the yarn splitting. And it's fairly soft for 100% wool. So what I knit was a little seat stitch headband. And this one here is 4 inches across because I wanted to make it a little wider because I wanted to test and see how much this 50-gram ball, what we could get knit out of it. So what is this? So this one is 4. Okay, I guess. This one just looked so much smaller than this one. So I guess this is 3.5 and this is 4. This used, as you can tell, all of the ball. So, but I also knit a flower. So the options would be you could either just do a headband, plain seed stitch. I love seed stitch. I know some of you guys don't like it. And then I did a little flower um, just to embellish it and then stuck a button. That's the word I'm looking for. Button. Thinking, you could always put a bead or something in there. And so I just did this 9 stitches or 11. Two, I think I did 11 stitches. And I don't know if I've even tried this on. Like hotter than heck out right now, you guys. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. I like it. And I don't know, what do you think? I think I like the 4 inches. This is what I had in mind when I was thinking about doing the headband was I wanted something a little wider. I didn't want something super skinny, but I guess that's everybody's own personal preference because the girl I taught to knit last Wednesday at our knit night, she wanted a smaller headband. So she cast on yeah, like 7, not 7 stitches, 9 stitches. I'm not sure what she ended up with. So I really, really like it. And the flower, some people may like the flower, some people may not. I think it's kind of cute. But from a teaching perspective, it's really good because all it is you cast on stitches, you knit a stitch, you cast off. You knit a stitch, you cast off. So it's really good practice in just casting on a knit stitch and cast off. So it's just extra practice. And I don't know, I think it looks really cute. So I did this, I went 2 inches less than the head circumference. So you've got that negative ease. And it's 100% wool. So, like anything, I'm assuming as you wear it, it will stretch a little bit. But as soon as you wash it, it should shrink right back up and you'll be set to keep going. I like this. I might, oh my God, I'm going to keep everything for me. I'm going to be the best dress knitter this winter. I'm telling you. Well, except I think this is going to Knit Stitch as a sample. I'll have to get more in when she actually gets the yarn and knit another one for myself because I really, really like this. So, hi, Sam. Oh, oh, Mary's talking about the dolls. I saw somebody say about the freaky, weird, the creepy doll. Yeah, on Saturday when Cheryl and I were podcasting over on the Fiber Friends channel, we were talking about the vintage knits, and I had found a book on my bookshelf that apparently, because once you have been knitting for a considerable amount of time, a lot of the books on your bookshelf technically are considered vintage. Even though I consider vintage, black and white. Um, a lot of my stuff fits into vintage, which is a little, um, yeah, I don't know. Concerning maybe is the word I'm looking for. But anyways, what are you gonna do? So, let's see. Oh, Diane says, not letting me scroll back to see if it was lace or braid. Oh, what one, Diane? Diane, are you talking what one? I'm not sure if you are or not, but if anybody's here is just popping on, cables was the winning stitch for the shawl. So super, super fun. So you guys, in case you weren't counting, that is 2 finishes. 2 finishes. I mean, pot holder and a headband, but I will take small projects because that's the 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 great thing about small projects is you get that instant gratification. You cast it on, you have fun knitting it, you cast it off, you're done. So, oh, Susanna, I am vintage. I know. I think, yeah, I'm like, oh, like what they're considering vintage. I'm like, I remember those years. That's okay. I mean, it's bound to happen to us all, right? Where are the socks? Amber, all right. I have socks here. They're not finished. They're not finished. I showed these Saturday morning on the Fiber Friends. I haven't been watching the chat too carefully, you guys. I should have been watching a little closer. I'm not sure if Nikki's here tonight or not, but I am getting really, really close to getting one sock finished. This is Nikki's design. So these are knit inside out, and you guys have probably heard me talk about these. This is other side of the river. So they're knit inside out. So the sock is knit, and then you do a little cute little cable panel. It's like a feather and fan panel up the front of the sock. And then when you're finished, you turn it inside out. So then there's the lace, and then your whole sock is reverse stockinette, which is really fun. So I am really, really, really close to doing the toe. I mean, I've maybe got about 6 more rounds to do, and then I'm ready for the toe, and then, of course, to come back and do the heel. So while I was knitting these, I was thinking, I always do a heel flap and gusset heel flap on my socks. I'm losing things, you guys. I need a bigger desk or something to do this. Somewhere I can set everything all out. Um, anyway, but I was thinking about this whole thing about coming back and doing the heel. I'm like, I'm not sure I love that. Because now that I'm all excited that I'm down to the toe, and I'm like, "Oh, I gotta go back and do the heel." And I'm so used to at this point, I'm like, "Yes, I'm in the home stretch. I just gotta do the toe and I'm done." But, like, not this time. I gotta go back and pick up stitches. And I'm like, "Ugh." And what I'm really worried about is that these are gonna sit for that reason because they're just around and round and round. Hi, Liz. Yes, it was cables. So, anyways, I mean, it's not a huge deal, and I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's just one of those things that I noticed as I was knitting them. I'm like, the heel is not done. Which, I don't know, does anybody else think that? I think it's just because I don't do this very often, so it's different. But, yeah, so I'll just have to make sure I sit down one night, put something on Netflix, and then pick this out, pick up the stitches, do my 3 rounds plain, and then do the heel decrease. You know what? I need to read Nikki's pattern. Poor Nikki wrote this wonderful pattern, and I just keep improvising and and doing my own thing. So I actually am gonna go back and read and see what she says to do. I'm assuming it's just a regular short row afterthought heel. Um, but I guess I will see. I guess I should go look. Okay, so Sally agrees. I agree. I want to be done. Yeah, when you're at the toe, you want to be done. So, and I had thought, and you know what, I should have maybe done that. Maybe I'll do it on sock too. Is once I do the cuff and then my little bit of a leg, because they're little ankle socks, obviously, put my heel flap in, do a little bit of the leg, and then immediately come right back and do the heel, and then carry on. That to me makes me happier. So I may do that on the next one. And then plus, then I can also try it on to know exactly where when I want to do the toe, right? So I don't know. I think that's just my heel flapping gusset is like ingrained in my head. So, oh no, Liz, you messed up on your sock and had to rip out the heel. That does happen sometimes. Unfortunately, that is kind of part of sock knitting game sometimes, isn't it? Oh, Amber, you said I finished my very, very long seed stitch row. I love seed stitch. I could knit it all the time. So, you guys, I tried so hard to have one more finish, and I am like literally like this close. My sweater. Remember this one from a few weeks ago? I have got okay, so I have a few ends, but this whole side seam and like this is the little short sleeve, so under the arm and all this down this side is sewn together. This side body seam is all sewn together. up under the arm, and the little sleeve is all done. And then we just come up here across the top. So sleeve up to, across the shoulder is done, and then the same on this side. From the sleeve into the shoulder is done, except I have got the world's largest neck opening because I still have to keep going. When I did this side, I wasn't sure how oh, well, one side. Maybe it was this side. The first one I did. I didn't know how far I wanted to go, so I just stopped here. But, I tried it on, and, yeah, I need to come in a little bit. I want it to be open, I don't want it to be right snug. I want it to come out here a little bit, so I'm gonna have to try it on. But it's, like, sweltering here right now, so I thought it was gonna cool off tonight, but I don't know as it has. And, and I had thought I was going to pick up and do something for on the but you know what? I think I might just let it roll just the way it is and just leave it. So I'm just gonna sew in a little bit more on either side, and this will be done. Done. Like, done. I'm, like, so close. Maybe if I could just sit here and do it while we chat, and then I could call it done. Um, but I'm almost done 3 things, you guys, which is so super exciting. I've got a missing darning needle is what I have. Okay. All right. There. See, this is why things don't get sewn up because darning needles go missing. I had it up here, so it's probably on the floor. Anyways, this one is like this close to being done. So it will just sit over here for right now. And I'm gonna finish it up. I know, Liz, that neck would fall off your shoulders. I know, off the shoulder? That could totally be a look, right? I mean, it is a look, depending if that's the look you want. Oh, a drapey cowl turtleneck. I could, but I don't think so. I think this is gonna be hot enough. It's that, it's the, this is the Peruvian yarn that I had given to me, brought back as a gift, and it was really, really thick and thin. It's 100% wool. So I don't think I would do a cowl because let me tell you, hot flashes, I don't think I'm gonna want a really heavy, bulky cowl, but it would look nice. It would definitely look nice, and I came across a pattern not that long ago that that's exactly what it was. Um, might have even been because oh, you know what? It was exactly for this pattern. I was flipping through a magazine and there was a vest. And somehow I thought that's what kind of inspired this because this was supposed to have started out as a vest. And then I put little sleeves on it so I could do like a layered look with it when I wear it in the winter. And oh, Amber said, "Oh no, don't do the cowl." It was only a thought. But in the magazine, that's what it did. It had a vest and it was two separate pieces. So you knit the top and then you knit the cowl and put it on. So it looked like it was a turtleneck neck, but it was two separate pieces, which is interesting because yes, then you could whip one off and put it on when it's cold, take it on and off all night long. Flash dance. Exactly. Yeah. Um Note to self, little container for darning needles for Louise. I know. Actually, you know what? I was doing it some cleaning. I'm like still on a major cleaning binge, you guys, and I cleaned out a whole bunch of old scrapbooking stuff. And I found a little container that I kept because I thought it was did you guys anybody do creative memories scrapbooking back like forever ago? And you know when you do use all the punches, I had different this one was a star shaped, cute little container for your punched out stars. So you could just keep all your little shapes all together. And I thought, oh, that would be really cute just for putting stitch markers in. So, oh, Amber, you did creative memories? Yeah, I think probably a lot of us probably did. That was like a lot of years ago. My God, my my supplies are probably now vintage. No, no, not quite that long. What did we decide? Vintage was like 25 years or 30 years or something? Hasn't been that long, but been a while. Anyways, so I do that. That's the thing though, is that I have to use these things. So I don't yeah, so I can try to keep everything organized. Okay. Oh, I've got one more thing to show you. Oh, way back when I did oh, Liz, so you did creative memories too? Okay. Last week I showed you this hand spun yarn that I had cast on. This must have been, oh, was this 2 weeks ago's New Start Monday? And I had it cast on and I had a bit done on it, but I had cast on too many stitches. And because I really wasn't sure what the gauge was going to be like with this hand spun, and I had cast on, did um seed stitch again. I did double seed stitch. But in the end, I did a little bit, put it on a long needle, put it on, and it was longer, and I wanted it fairly snug because I don't have a lot of yarn. So I don't want to have something really big. I want it to be closer and warmer. Interesting, right? Because I just thought the other one would be too hot, but this one I'm thinking like wearing it in my coat, right? For like going for walks where I want to be warm. But the other sweater, I'm thinking like like wearing it in the house or at work, or right with a cowl would be like way too hot. So, anyways, I pulled this out and I recast on, and I took off kind of, very scientifically, put the original cowl on, saw how big it was, kind of pinched it and like, yep, that looks good. How many stitches is that? And that's what I took off and cast on. So here we are. This looks much better. And I have not done very much on it, and I just did, I can't remember what I did, 1 by 1 ribbing? Yes. 1 by 1 rib. Ooh, I did the Chinese waitress cast on with the crochet hook. Very fun little cast on. And, okay, let's see here. Oh, yeah, that's what we want, right? Something that I'll be able to use all of this yarn. Now I'll probably have yarn left over. But I'm thinking like make it 8 or 9 inches high, be just the perfect to pull on. And I think I'm just going to do stockinette. I just switched and like I said, the other one, I just started right off the bat with double seed stitch and was just gonna do the whole thing double seed stitch. Um, don't wear my glasses, yes. Um, but the pattern, you could see it was textured, but with this really bright colored yarn, it wasn't showing up. Um, yeah. So I just thought, no, I think I'll just do a little bit of ribbing and then just stockinette, knit round and round and round, do a little more ribbing and call it done. And just let this really, really pretty yarn just shine and not worry about a stitch pattern. So maybe this will be a finish for next week. I mean, my big shell that I'm going to start tonight, that will not be done for next week, but maybe this cowl and the sweater. Oh my gosh, 2 finishes, 2 weeks in a row. That has never been done before here. At that, I can guarantee you that's never been done. Oh my gosh, that would be fun to aspire to. I should like do that pronto, so before I get distracted by other things. Oh, yes, so oh, you guys are talking about the Jane Austen inspired knits? Nice, yes. Alyssa's officially, oh, vintage is 40 years, but 25 is fine with you. I'm thinking of a 1920s sweater. So yeah, to me, that's what I think of as vintage is the 20s. But apparently, oh my goodness, what did we decide Saturday, Cheryl and I? Was it anything 1990 and older? Because that's kind of like 20, yeah, like 1998 or something, what must have been 25 years. So, I know 25 years, but I mean that means my children are vintage. That really doesn't make, well, Yeah. Anyways, yeah, 25 years goes by in a blink of an eye. But okay, so as far as knitting goes, do I have anything else here? I think that's it. Um, I think I worked a little bit on a couple more pairs of socks that I'm trying to get done for the Fiber Friends. Both one I think is ready for the heel, the other one is like an inch away from the heel as well. So all my socks are like right at the heels. So I'm gonna have to get those done so I can get started on the second sock. And one does have a second sock ready to go. Anyways, yeah, my socks. I'm hoping to try and get one more sock finished so I can have a pair by Saturday. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have a lot of knitting to do this week. So, anyways, okay, where are we for time? Oh my goodness, you guys, the hour is almost up. So, okay, so Jocelyn's saying 1990 isn't too far off from 40 since anything 1983 or older are vintage like me. I know 83. I was in like what grade 8? I'm 54. So yeah, yeah, anyways, I know. Feels time goes by fast. What else can you say about that, right? Um, aim for 3 weeks in a row for finishes. Aim for 3 weeks. Yes, so Jocelyn and I are not chatting this Thursday because it's still June. So we will be here the following week. So in 2 weeks' time, Jocelyn and I will be here, and it's kind of our goal check-in. And this is the Capelet um, race that we're doing. So I can't talk about it. I can't show it to you, but I'll tell you there's a story. There's always a story. I don't know. Does everybody else have stories with their knitting, or is it just me? And like some days, I really seriously think I'm like, oh my gosh, how it is so easy to make simple mistakes. I'm like, yeah, but I will just we can chat about that in 2 weeks. Was it put in a timeout? I'm not saying. I know, Suzanne, there's always a story. There is always a story. Oh, Amber, I feel like us London knitters should meet up. That would be super fun. Now that the nice weather's here. Yeah, if it's not raining. Well, you know what, Amber? I'll let you know because I'm gonna chat with Suzanne. She was thinking about doing some outdoor knitting. We did the Hello Maker meetup, which was so much fun, you guys. That space is really, really lovely. But we thought now with the nice weather for like July and August, maybe we could try to meet up in a park one night after work. So we will let you guys know when we come up with a date for that. Oh, Danielle says 100 years was antique and vintage is 40. I know. I didn't really know there was a difference between vintage and antique. I'm just happy to say that I am not antique yet. But that is my goal. That is my goal to make it. Yeah. Oh, Liz, your walk was in the rain. I had to convince myself to go out. Yeah, not fun. But okay, so what else? So yeah, so the Hello Makerspace. So our little get together on Wednesday night was a huge success. The Hello Makerspace is really, really fun and shoots for so for anybody who's local in London, take a look at her space and even on Instagram, she has a link to her website that has a calendar, and she's got all kinds of really fun crafting things. Candle making. I saw something like dried flower, pressed flowers. There was floral arranging. There was macrame. We did knitting. Um, I don't, and she has a drop-in time that you can go in, and she's got different things, different equipment like a Cricut that you can use, and she had lots of donated yarn and needles, so if anybody wanted to go in and knit, she's got some supplies there that are free to use. Others are ones that you pay. I don't know if it's hourly or you pay like a fee to come in for the couple of hours, and then you can just use what's ever on on the other shelf. So it's yeah, it's a really fun setup. It's a really good vibe there. It's really welcoming space, and she is lovely. Her name is Kirsty. She was really, really wonderful. So it was fun, and I got to meet a lot of knitters that I had never met before. So that was really fun, just to meet new people, see what they were working on. One lady had been to Iceland, so she was telling us about her trip and showing us the yarn that she brought back. And oh my goodness, beautiful, beautiful yarn. And she was working on an Icelandic lace shawl, which was gorgeous. There was a couple of new knitters, and it was able to made my heart so happy that I was able to help this new knitter. She was twisting her stitches, and she said to me, she's like, she was watching me, and she's like, "Can you help me?" I'm like, "Of course I can." And so she's like, "How do I get to hold my knitting? Like you're doing, like just like this?" Because she was using straight needles, and she was having to take the one needle and hold it into her chest, the end of it on, like, her chest or stomach, and then have to, like, wiggle it into the stitch. I'm like, "Oh, yeah, no." That's that slows you down, obviously, and it's like, "Yeah, you shouldn't have to be able to do that." So I watched her, and I'm like, she was wrapping her purl stitches when she was purling, wrapping the yarn backwards, so it was twisting her knit stitch when she came back to it on the other side. And, so I just got that fixed, and then she was able to actually hold her needles and just knit. So she was super, super happy. So that was really, really exciting that I was able just to help her. Just a simple little tweak to her knitting made a huge difference for her. Um, Another lady was making a really interesting tank top. There was a couple socks. A lady was knitting with some cotton sock yarn that was really pretty color. Another girl was doing socks. Suzanne had brought, she was going to try to crochet. And then at the end, last minute, she decided it was too stressful trying to learn how to crochet with a group of people. So she put it away and pulled out her shawl. Um, yeah, I can't remember what some of the others were, what they were working on. But oh, was there a blanket? And yeah, so it was really, really fun. Everybody had a lot of fun. So I think we'll be trying to arrange something else there again. Oh, Sam sent me a picture. Oh, Sam, did you send me? Okay. Oh, she did. So, okay, let's take a look here. Oh my goodness. Sam's been busy, you guys. Okay, there's like 5 dishcloths here. Oh, these are super cool. Okay, so you guys all know, if you're here every week, you guys all know Sam is like the dishcloth knitting queen. She's trying for 200 dishcloths. Look at those. So is that a mosaic one? Yeah, that's a mosaic one. Illusion knitting, two mosaic ones. Sam, that's awesome. That's great. So, Alice, I know this space is really fun, and yeah, it's new. It's just opened like in the last, I don't know, 3 months or something maybe. So yeah, I'm really hoping that it is a big success for her, because it's a good thing that she's got going. So, oh, hey, Diane. Oh, Amber, you've made 5 pairs of cotton That's right, I saw you post a picture. I know they're kinda nice for this time of year, right? If you wanna wear socks, but maybe you don't want wool, you can do, the cotton. If you can find the yarn, sometimes you gotta look a little bit for it. So, oh, yes, cables. Cables it is, you guys. So now I get to decide what I'm going to do. One stitch all the way through or switch with every color. I'm gonna think about that as I start. Um, Kind of leaning for this project to switch it up. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll chat more about it next week. Oh, Diane, you love cables. I know. I love cables too. It's one of those things again that I don't do often, because I have to, well, not that it's a bad thing, but yeah, if I had a choice, I would do stranded, hands down. Every project I did would be stranded. So cables, yeah, I don't do a lot of cable knitting, but then once I start doing it, it's one of those like, ah, I'm loving this. Why don't I do it more often? So this is exciting. I really wasn't sure what I was hoping you guys were going to vote for, because I had thought, well, like maybe cables because the yarn's a little darker, has a fallish feel, so it might go cables, but it is also summer. So I thought maybe you guys would vote lace. And I had like lace knit in heavier weight wool. So, um, not necessarily doing it out of lace or fingering weight. I like it out of like a worsted and do um lace patterns in it. So, because you don't see it, you think of lace as really fine, fine yarn, but I like it done out of something heavy for a change. Oh, Amber, you're hoping to finish your sixth pair of cotton socks and the shawl you're working on. That is awesome. Well, the Fiber Friends, the Get Her Done challenge is still on until what, Saturday? So knit, 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 and then go post them in the Fiber Friends Ravelry thread. And yeah, because I think we are drawing prizes again. Is that it? How is that? Oh my gosh, the months just go by so quick. So we just have a couple minutes left here, everybody. Um, what are you working on? Cables on what? Oh, Diane, let me show you. So Diane, yes, so you can go every Monday. I put up a poll on Instagram that you can vote for whatever, if it's yarn or if it's stitch, technique, project. You can vote here on YouTube. You can vote on Wildflower Will's Facebook page. So this was the yarn that I had bought at Knit Stitch a week or so ago. And I had just asked, what should I, it's going to be a shawl, and whether I should do it as cabled or as lace. And cables, what did I say? 68% was cables. So this is going to turn out beautiful. Can't wait to start it. And Sally, it was Sally, right? You had given me a suggestion of the pebbles, the carrot, gray and green. I think that was it. I like that. Oh, hi, Jen. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, Sam, type in your question here because we're only going to be on for a few more minutes. So type it in and somebody can answer. Hi, Jen. I just finished a baby sweater and I'm going to cast on another one. Oh, the Larkin knit. Oh, what size did you make it in, Jen? You guys, my granddaughter is growing. She has doubled her weight. She was 5'5" and she's 10, 11, almost 11 pounds. So fun. And she's getting so big. I mean, she was so tiny when she was born. And 6 months. Okay, yeah. So that's what Scarlett's wearing 3 months now. But yeah, she won't be too long before she's into 6 months. So that's exciting. Okay, so 6 months, that is still a fairly quick knit, isn't it? Oh, it's a gift for baby that was born at the beginning of the month. Lovely. And we saw Suzanne. Suzanne she had a baby born at her work, right? Suzanne saw that you had said, because we were oohing and eyeing over your picture in the Fiber Friends thread. I was just scrolling through the Ravelry thread on Saturday when Cheryl and I were talking, and I got totally I like scrolling and I'm like, whoa, stop. There is a baby in this picture. I'm like, back it up. It was Susanna had finished a baby blanket, and she had a pretty picture of just the baby blanket, but then the next picture was the baby wrapped in the blanket. And I'm like, okay, forget about the blanket. The blanket's lovely, but there is a baby. So that was so cute. And the blanket looks super cozy and squishy. It was lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, Sam, yeah, you said cabling is hurting your wrists, right? Yeah, because you were doing a lot of cable knitting. And okay, so oh, Sam says, I have a cable owl that I want to do, but the cable needle hurts my wrist. I want to know what I can use. Well, there is a way for some cable stitches, like you can cable without a cable needle. So I don't know if that would be any better. Like, I'm not sure what promotion is hurting your wrist, Sam, but yeah, if it's bothering, just stick with what you're doing now. Um, you can always come back to cables or not, right? I mean, there's lots of other fun things to do. If cable's bothering you, um, yeah, just work on something else. So, Okay, what is Susanna knitting? I believe that you have the Tea Time and Buttercup DK left from Swan Show pattern from Nikki. Okay, okay. You guys are obviously chatting about a pattern. So, anyways, you guys, this has been a fun chat. Thank you for everybody who voted. Cables, I'm like so excited. I have had all day long, I've been thinking like, "Ooh, if it's cables, if it's lace, will I do this? Will I do that?" And I knew, so I should have known that cables would be the winner because I had one lace pattern already picked out that I thought would be really fun. So I'll have to hold on to it, and I'm gonna have to do some research and do some thinking of cables and what I will do. Sam, with any luck, the first week of like next week, first week of July, I may be back. Oh, that's what Jen at the okay, was that leftover yarn? Okay. All right. Well, everybody, have a great rest of your week. Um, it's Monday. We've got Monday in the books already, and it's been a super fun day. So I hope you finish off the night with a little knitting and carry on the rest of the week getting, hopefully you get some knitting done every day, right? And hopefully you have some finishes that you're ready to cast off. I'm like super excited that I have two finishes. I'm gonna try again, keep the momentum going, see if I can get, yeah, the sweater and the cowl done for next week and get a good start on this cable knits. So thank you everybody for voting. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everybody who chats while I'm talking. So it's always lots of fun. So have a fantastic week, everybody, and I will see you next Monday. Bye, everybody.